From our studio in our office at the corner of 8th and Walton in Bentonville, Arkansas, welcome to Saturday Morning Meeting. Brought to you in part by Dun & Bradstreet Credibility Corp., the leading provider of credit and credibility solutions for businesses. Saturday Morning Meeting covers Walmart, Sam's Club, and the consumer product companies that are represented on the racks and shelves throughout the country and around the world. Our focus is on the insights, trends, and best practices to help you as a supplier grow your business with the world's largest retailer. I'm Andy Shook, and thanks for joining us. Today in Swimming in a Sea of Data, Jeff Amorine talks with James Farmer about the new wave of data analysis. And then we'll meet with Erin Fish of Mattel to discuss princesses and an exclusive Walmart list. But first, the headlines. Over the past several years, Walmart has expanded its financial services to include check cashing, several prepaid debit cards, and low-cost money transfers. Now, this past week, Walmart announced that it has teamed up with Green Dot to offer low-fee checking accounts to customers. The program is called GoBank and eliminates many of the costs and inconveniences associated with traditional checking accounts. According to Walmart's press release, GoBank does not require a credit check, there are no bounced check fees, and the bank waives maintenance fees when a customer maintains a minimum balance. GoBank also includes several budgeting tools, such as linked savings account and a fortune teller feature that notifies customers if they're about to spend beyond their budget. Family Dollar may be in a tumult over takeover bids, but it's still working to attract customers. According to Retailing Today, Family Dollar is now matching competitors' prices through its Ad Match promise. Does that sound familiar? The program allows customers to match advertised prices, buy one, get one free promotions, and loyalty club deals. Customers will also be able to use coupons on top of Ad Match promotions. Speaking of loyalty programs, some news organizations are putting Walmart's Savings Catcher to the test. Greensboro, North Carolina's WFMY News 2 recently went on a shopping trip and tried out Savings Catcher afterwards. Now, while the app did catch most of the local sales, recouping savings for the reporters, it also missed a few promotions. Still, for a new program, it sounds like Savings Catcher is working fine for a lot of people. Both the tech and retail communities were abuzz this week when Walmart announced that Instagram co-founder Kevin Systrom joined the Walmart board of directors. This is the second major tech personality to join Walmart's board since Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer, reinforcing Walmart's ongoing commitment to technology and social media. Our Bentonville viewers won't have to walk far to go shopping anymore. That's because Walmart is testing a new grocery pickup service at J Street and South Walton. The CityWire reports that customers can order groceries online, schedule a pickup, and drive to the center where an attendant will bring them their groceries. There are no added fees or surcharges for this drive-up program, and attendants won't be on roller skates. Yet. Up next is Amanda Apple of 8th and Walton. In September, she was part of a group invited by the Soderquist Center to speak at an Empowering Women event. Today, she shares some of those highlights with you. Thanks for being here, Amanda.
Thanks for having me, Andy. The Empowering Women event highlighted women-owned businesses and the leading ladies behind them. It tied in perfectly with Walmart's Empowering Women Together initiative. Most of the attendees were C-level executives operating businesses in the United States or Canada. Each of them was a Walmart or Sam's Club supplier and had been invited because she showed potential to work with Walmart on a larger scale. In addition to 8th and Walton, the Harvest Group, Acosta Sales and Marketing, and Walmart gave the attendees information to improve their businesses and their relationships with the world's largest retailer. My colleague Teresa Warren and I covered several topics, and here are the 3 takeaways that any supplier, man or woman, should find very helpful. Be sure what you're presenting to your buyer is correct, concise, and on track. Be on point at all times. You won't have a lot of time with your buyer. You may only have minutes, so make sure you make the most of every one. Be fully prepared. The way you use your time can make or break you. Be on top of your business. Of course, that means you know your numbers. Demonstrate that you're the expert of your business, because when you are, you build trust with your buyer. And with Walmart, trust is a very good thing. In the spring, the Soderquist Center will be hosting a similar event to further promote Walmart's mission of women empowerment. Look for another insider scoop in the upcoming weeks.
This week, Jeff Amrine and James Farmer of the Harvest Group discuss the transition of data from automation to curious exploration and how to tread through the vast amount of open source data.
Today I'm here with James Farmer, partner at the Harvest Group. James, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Jeff.
Tell us a little bit about your background and what the Harvest Group does.
The Harvest Group is a business service company, and we work with local suppliers in two ways. One, we do headquarters sales management, and then our data and insights division works with larger consumer packaged goods companies here locally to really unlock the potential in their data.
And it started here in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, we started about 7 years ago. Today we're in Rogers, Arkansas, and we have right around 35 people.
That's fantastic. So from your perspective, there's some interesting things that have happened over a period of time in terms of data automation and the tools that are available. What do you see happening next?
The next thing is really exciting because what's happened so far has really been cost saving. Wave one was around automation, filling the data warehouses full of data, building reporting that's automated, and that's primarily a cost savings measure. But now, it's interesting, McKinsey came out a couple weeks ago and said there's likely 4 to 5 percentage points of growth in consumer packaged goods data. And so now the opportunity is to get curious and creative, unfold and understand all the patterns and relationships that exist in these huge, large data sets we have to build incremental opportunities that drive business growth, not just cost savings.
That's really the whole point of the exercise, is to get to meaning.
That's exactly right.
Meaning and figure out what's really going on. So the other part of so much of this is driven by talent. The talent pool is what's going to determine the kind of assessments you can come to and the kind of recommendations that come out. What's that whole point of the analyst position within consumer packaged goods and retail?
Yeah, it's interesting. We've taken a different road than a lot of industries. A lot of other industries, like sports, like the equities, the financial side, the word analyst is an extremely senior position. But in consumer packaged goods, it's an entry-level position. And what that means is other industries place emphasis on having a mastery of skills and knowledge to apply because there's that much meaning. It's really an opportunity for us in consumer packaged goods to find talent in new places and then put in new skills into the existing talent so that we elevate the role of analysts. The whole point is one of the most powerful assets that a company has today are these data sets. It's literally one of the largest, most powerful assets we have today, but we tend to put entry-level junior people on them, whereas other places, if we take a page from their playbook, there's meaning and there's growth in putting very seasoned people on it.
People that really have the subject matter expertise and have a true understanding of what's going on within the business they're trying to help.
That's right, because being able to clearly articulate what's in data is not just a technical skill set. It requires a level of communication, the ability to pull together certain things, create the story, and then communicate that story in a way that's received by other people.
And that's not just a formal education thing. That's something that you really have to have based on experience in the industry, I would imagine.
That's exactly right. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes repetition. It's a growth process.
Got it. Okay, so when you think about this sort of vast amount of readily available data from maybe unusual sources that people don't think of, not proprietary data, but the stuff that's essentially openly available, how does that present an opportunity?
It presents an opportunity to bring color and even more meaning to some of the proprietary data that we have in place today. There's really rich data sources we get from Walmart, from other syndicated places. But just as valuable is all this open source data that exists, that as a society we've been collecting. And it's in places all over the place. There's a lot of it from the government, for sure, but there's a lot of it from news sources, from academics, where they have just large data sets that are typically tied to some type of geography. The opportunity is actually taking that, tying it to a store so we know more about the individual store. And then within that, we can know a lot more about the items and what's happening with the items.
What's a good example? Give me an example of something you've seen that would be particularly illustrative.
Yeah, one of the interesting examples we worked with recently was we were working with an item that was a new treatment for septic tank systems. And rather than take the traditional approach of let's forecast the volume, let's look at the number of stores for different footage modulars, what we actually went out and found was the number of septic systems per Walmart store. And so we could understand the density of the actual population we can sell this stuff to across the country, and then get a really targeted, really smart, intelligent approach and recommendation to a merchant at Walmart to say, here's where we should put the product because here's the opportunity to grow it.
How do you find that kind of thing? I mean, that seems like something to be completely random. What'd you have to do to find that sort of data?
So you have to be extremely curious, and you have to have your antennas up looking for it all the time. Right. At the Harvest Group, we are constantly looking at all different sources. We monitor a lot of Twitter feeds, because frankly, a lot of people in tech publish great articles with large data sets, and we go and we look. We monitor a lot of the different news websites, and then a lot of the government websites. We monitor all those all the time, and we search for them. We find them, we bring them in, we clean them up, and then we put them into our databases so we can understand. We have more and more greater context around individual stores. That's what we're going for, is greater context, greater meaning and understanding of all the thousands of neighborhoods that make up the United States.
Sure, and that's very granular, right? No two stores are really alike, so you have to know a lot about the demographics and the individual characteristics of where they happen to be.
That's exactly right. In fact, even something like zip codes, which we use today, are zip codes. They're pretty arbitrary in how their boundaries are defined. There's actually a great company out of New York called, I think out of New York or California, called Urban Mapping, which has actually mapped all of the neighborhoods. So where does Soho end? Right. And Greenwich Park begin? Where are the different neighborhood boundaries? You use these boundaries, and these are similar people groups now, and you can learn things about them that bring more color and understanding to your product sales in a store.
Well, James, this has been great. Thanks for helping us understand what it takes to unlock the real potential, behind data. And maybe at some point we'll get back and do a little more discussion around what you have to do to find great talent that can work for guys like you and within retail and CPG in general.
Absolutely, Jeff. Thank you.
All right. Thanks very much. Stay tuned for Saturday Morning Meeting.
This is a great place, steps away from the world's largest retailer. Just a great opportunity to bring buyers and merchants over and have good business discussions and dialogues about our business.
I think there was general shock and awe about the technology in the building, about the layout, how thoughtful we'd been in the rooms, the technology we'd put in rooms. I think they were literally blown away.
We had a lot of Walmart executives here. They were all very complimentary. They are excited about the opportunity to actually leverage the place to work very collaboratively with suppliers and really try and figure out how to best take care of the customers in the store, and they saw this as a great tool to be able to do that. So we're starting to see a lot of activity in the joint business planning room areas, some in the digital wall areas. For example, last week this place was 100% full. It's starting to get used the way it was intended to be used.
What else can you do to make sure your products make it to the shelf? Suppliers know that product flow is critical to having products on the shelf. That's why OSA is a key focus for Walmart and its suppliers. The 8th and Walton OSA course, presented in partnership with Crossmark, explains the importance of inventory levels and correct labeling, and teaches you how to use the tools that measure and improve OSA. Become a smarter supplier. Contact 8th and Walton today.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
Next, we meet Erin Fish of Mattel. Erin shares Mattel's story of princesses, little people, Barbie campers, and how they had 3 toys chosen for an exclusive Walmart list. Today we're here with Erin Fish of Mattel. Erin's here to share with us some of Mattel's exciting holiday promotions and discuss how seasonality impacts the toy business. Welcome, Erin.
Hi.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. So tell us a little bit about Mattel and some of the brands that Mattel owns.
So Mattel is the largest toy manufacturer in the world. We make up a house of brands that go back 56 years.
56, wow.
56 years.
Wow.
So the biggest brand within our portfolio is Barbie.
Oh yes, Barbie.
Barbie,
yeah.
We call her the big pink girl. But we also have Hot Wheels and Matchbox. We also have Fisher-Price. So we really can take a child and their parents from when the baby is born all the way up to age 10. So we have fashion dolls with Barbie and Monster High. We have
Monster High, okay,
Monster High, which is a newer brand. It launched 4 years ago.
Is that more for tweens and?
It's more for your 7 to 10-year-old.
Okay.
It's more focused on collecting, and it's really rooted in having kids celebrate their freaky flaws. So the monsters, we can do a lot of things with Monster High that we don't necessarily do with Barbie. Barbie's all about fashion and her things. I mean, she has the best stuff, right?
She does.
She has a house in Malibu. I mean, who wouldn't want a house in Malibu?
What's the car koozie, or what's it called?
Oh, that's the camper.
The camper with a...
Yeah, we have a camper this year that has a car koozie. Right? Every camper should come with a car koozie.
And every kid should have one of those, right?
Every kid should have one of those.
That's right.
But we also have games within our portfolio. The #1 card game in the world, Uno.
Uno, yeah.
That also makes up our portfolio. And we also have a lot of different licenses. So we have the Disney Princess within our portfolio. We have Cars and Planes, WWE. So we go from girly princesses to bulky wrestlers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what else do you have in the portfolio?
That pretty much makes up the majority of the portfolio. If we look at our infant preschool side, we also have Minnie and Dora. So that also sits within the girls' world.
On the educational side a little bit?
Yep, absolutely. And then in the boys' world, Thomas. I mean, Thomas is the entrant for the wheels environment, and we sell all of the trains. So we have Thomas.
So Princess is one of your brands that you guys carry.
Right.
And Frozen was a big movie this last year. Tell us a little bit about the promotions you've got coming up with that.
Yeah, I mean, Frozen has been remarkable. I think it was bigger than any of us ever predicted. It came out last Thanksgiving, and it has just continued to snowball. No pun intended. But it's just, it's really been an exciting year for us. In November, Disney will be re-releasing the Frozen DVD with a sing-along. And the music has really been a cornerstone in terms of fueling the property overall.
So the movie kind of fuels it, but then you guys developed the toys around it. So last year you developed, what toys did you kind of start off with?
So when we work very closely with Disney and we co-create and design with Disney, it takes us about 18 months really from the design to production. So
they're working with you even before the movie comes out.
Absolutely.
And they're already okay. So your innovation, you guys are innovating around that.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But you haven't seen the movie. You don't really know for sure what the plot is, or you know some of those things.
Right. Yeah. Disney will share with us the direction that they're going. They'll share some of the big scenes, and typically we'll launch just like we did with Frozen with core characters within the movie. Sure. So Elsa and Anna were the two princesses that were featured, and then we'll develop the product around that, and we'll typically stick with the core characters and the core big scenes within the movie. That's typically what happens when we launch. Yep, year one, season one actually. Yeah, there's 2 seasons for us within the toy business. We plan for fall and we plan for spring. So yeah, and the reason that we do that is for the toy business specifically, the majority of the business is done in the back half, obviously centered around the holidays. Sure. And parents tend to spend more money in the back half of the year. So our line typically is a little, you'll have different price points in the fall than you would in the spring.
Gotcha. Okay. So when an item like this came out last year, did you have this type of a figurine where it's going to be ice skating and doing those types of things, or is that kind of innovation for this year?
This is innovation for this year. Okay. So last year we launched with our core princesses. We call them our Sparkle Princess dolls, and it's the core Anna and Elsa. We also had Kristoff. He was one of the guys in the movie. And then for this fall, our newest innovation is the skating dolls.
So a movie comes out. Yep. You're not really sure if it's going to be a hit or not, right?
Right.
Although, when you guys kind of saw the beginnings of it, did you think, okay, this is it? This is the one?
You know, the thing about Frozen, which is interesting, is that it really took off in the spring. And after. So it launched in, Thanksgiving weekend, and the toys did well. But as the music was more seated, I want to say, within society.
Well, there's YouTube videos. There's all kinds of excitement
Jimmy
around.
Kimmel and the Roots. Kind of reworked
so it almost gave it
one of the songs.
A second life, didn't it?
Absolutely. And then Olaf, who was the singing snowman who loves warm hugs in summer, he just, I think he really resonated with kids. And as they consumed more and more of what I say the digital content, the toys continued to accelerate. And we have been chasing to try to keep up ever since.
And do you feel like, does it always correlate well? if the movie's successful, the toy will definitely be successful?
You know, it really depends. You know, when we developed the line for our movie, we tried to get it as close to kind of the core characters and the key scenes in the movie. But sometimes, you know, we'll have an incredible movie that will have a record-breaking box office, and the toys just don't do as well. Yeah. And it's, you know, sometimes it's a slam dunk, sometimes it's a mini slam dunk. Yeah. So it's at times a little hard to plan for.
So when we come back, I want to hear about how some of Mattel's toys made the chosen by list, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But first, let's take a quick break.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
GigWalk is an on-demand mobile workforce that can collect data and do work at retail. Businesses use GigWalk for retail audits, merchandising, and much more. With 350,000 smartphone-enabled workers available on demand, you get unprecedented speed and coverage across the U.S., Canada, and the U.K. And all work is reviewed for quality and accuracy. Visit gigwalk.com to learn more.
8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. When and where you want to learn. Current, accurate, relevant, taught by suppliers for suppliers. 8th and Walton.
Trying to get your product noticed by retailers and customers? Rapid Prototypes in Bentonville can help with packaging, displays, renderings, signage, and much more. They are called Rapid Prototypes for a reason. Rapid turnaround and rapid response time to your needs. Need 2-week turnaround? Easy. Need 2-day turnaround? No problem. Need 2-minute turnaround? Let's talk. At Rapid Prototypes, we're always willing to go the extra mile for you. Rapid Prototypes, across from Cassano's Pizza on Walton Boulevard in Bentonville. Call 479-273-3278.
Okay, so before the break, we talked about the Princess toys, but now we're going to talk about Chosen By with Walmart. Yeah. So the kids have voted now, and Mattel had some toys that were chosen.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that.
So I think this is one of the best parts of my job is having kids play with toys. And then we get to sell those toys, those top toys that kids pick at Walmart. It really is. I mean, Mattel's all about creating the future of play, and there's nothing better.
You put all these toys together, but you don't know for sure if the kids are going to play with them or not.
Right,
so
absolutely.
That's your whole dream, right?
So that's our whole dream. So we will present, the way Chosen By works is we will present our fall product line to the merchant team. And at that same time,
so right now you're actually presenting for next year?
Yes.
2015.
So right now, we actually, a couple weeks ago, we presented our fall 2015 product line, and we already put our message out there in terms of the toys we think should be candidates for Chosen By.
Based on your research, the focus study groups you've done with kids, some of the things that you've done.
Right. Okay. I mean, we have play labs, and the kids come in and they play with the toys, and we see how they test. And also, any of those kind of wow toys that they do something that nothing else in the marketplace currently does. Right. So we'll put those on the list. And what Walmart does is they will pare down the candidates, and then they'll send.
So about how many toys did they bring into that?
They bring in about anywhere from 40 to 50 toys.
Okay. And different age groups?
Different age groups. It'll go everything from, they'll start with a year to 3 years from an infant toddler perspective, and then they'll move up all the way to 10 plus. And they have 1,000 kids, about 1,000 kids who will come in and they'll play with all the toys.
Just picturing 1,000 kids running around playing with toys. How do they even keep track of who's playing with what?
Well, they have these different stations.
Okay.
This last year it happened in Dallas, and they had the kids come in and they had all the toys spread out, and they were able to play with all the different toys. And I think what's great about it is that Walmart also will film the kids playing with the toys, and they'll talk to the kids playing with the toys. Okay. And then then all of that content, they will take that and they'll repurpose it on Walmart.com. They'll put it in social media.
So it's kind of a
TV
confirmation
spots.
for those that are maybe going to buy those toys to know that those kids were playing with it, how they liked it, what they liked. Okay.
And this is not a top toy list selected by Walmart. This is a top toy list chosen by kids.
Chosen by.
Chosen by kids.
Wow.
And we actually have, for 2014, we have 3 toys that made the Chosen by Kids list.
And they are?
They are. Of course, we have to talk about the pink lady, Barbie. Yes. We have the Barbie Camper, which is a fantastic toy. We talked about it earlier. It has the car koozie and lots of fun things to play with. We also have, I think, probably one of the coolest toys that's out there in the marketplace right now, which is the Hot Wheels Street Hawk. It is a car, an RC car that drives on the ground and flies in the air.
That is too cool.
Amazing.
I mean, I've seen the ones that go on the ground but then go in water.
Yeah.
But is this the first one to actually fly?
Well, I'm sure there's a few other things out there that fly, but this one, like, drives on the ground and then flies through the air. It's amazing. We showcased it at Denver. The store managers thought it was amazing. Yeah. And it's a Chosen by Kids. The kids liked it too. Yeah. The last toy that was selected is from our Fisher-Price line, Little People, which is, has been in our portfolio for years and years and years. It's the Little People preschool. Okay. And Little People are made just for that, for little people. Yeah. Toddlers, they're chunky, it's interactive, you can take the characters and move them around the preschool and it interacts with
18-month-old. Is
perfect.
That? Oh,
it is perfect for an 18-month-old.
So does having a top performing toy create any inventory challenges? How does that work when you come into the season?
Well, I mean, it's a collaborative process, right? So we work very closely with our Walmart merchant team, our planners, and replenishment teams to kind of call a number. But I think one of the biggest challenges within the toy business is 60% of the year is done in the fall. And of that 60% that's done in the fall, 40% of it is done in the month of December. So if something really takes off and you're chasing that inventory, you only have, so many weeks that you can get those trucks to those stores and get product on the shelf.
Right. And what advice would you give another supplier that they're gearing up for holiday season, or maybe they're looking at 2015 and coming in? What advice would you give them?
I think the biggest advice that I would give, and it has been probably a key learning for me, is place your bets. So, you can't love all your children equally. Yes. And take all of the data that you have at your disposal in terms of comp items, your initial reads, and place those bets and place them early.
Oh, that's great. Hey, thanks so much for sharing about this fun topic, Erin. This is great. A lot of great information. A lot of stuff going into the seasons. We got the toy season coming up, and we're looking forward to that. Saturday morning meeting will continue shortly.
Every day, shoppers are bombarded with traditional brand messages outside the store in hopes that these marketing dollars will drive in-store sales. Closure Media drives retail sales by connecting brands with 95 million Walmart shoppers per year while they are in the store. Through innovative programs at Walmart's photo and money centers, Closure Media converts Walmart shoppers to purchasers of your brand. With reported redemption rates up to 7 times the national FSI average, Closure Media drives sales. For more info, visit us at closuremedia.com.
Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today. What else can you do to make sure your products make it to the shelf? Suppliers know that product flow is critical to having products on the shelf. That's why OSA is a key focus for Walmart and its suppliers. The 8th and Walton OSA course, presented in partnership with Crossmark, explains the importance of inventory levels and correct labeling, and teaches you how to use the tools that measure and improve OSA. Become a smarter supplier. Contact 8th and Walton today.
Our thanks to all of today's guests. In the upcoming weeks, you'll meet Scott McClemens, CEO of Nehemiah Worldwide, who speaks to Jeff Amorine about the roadblocks to data-driven decision-making, and Mike McCooey from Plaid. Now, there's an interesting story about how crafts came to Walmart. Now, as always, we appreciate your taking the time to join us. If you have questions or comments, we'd love to hear from you. I'm Andy Shook, And from all of us at Saturday Morning Meeting, thanks for watching. Our guests enjoy staying at 21C Museum Hotel and hosting dinners, meetings, and product launches there.